First Thursday Music Club.
First Thursday Music Club. If we don't both agree, then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another video in the series First Thursday Music Club Meets. The First Thursday Music Club is an open mic night that takes place in Tame in Oxfordshire on the first Thursday of every month. A typical evening involves around 15 acts playing from 8 till midnight. At 10 o'clock we have a feature act, an invited artist who comes along and they get to play for half an hour and really show us all what they can do. One of the acts that's appeared as a feature act at the First Thursday Music Club is the August List, and I'm delighted to have with us tonight Kerry and Martin from the August List. Hello Kerry and Martin, how are you?
Oh, good, we're
Well,
good.
Lovely to see you both. So firstly, can we set the scene a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
How long's the band been together? How did you meet? What's it like performing with Kerry when nobody looks at you? Tell me about it.
Well, we started the band in about 2010.
I think it was
2010. And we were a husband and wife, so we'd been together for quite a while before we started the band. And it kind of just started naturally. We were just sort of learning to do cover songs and things, and then we took those to folk clubs, and then we started writing our own material and getting gigs through the folk clubs, and it's sort of snowballed into
So what were you doing to meet?
Well, I was an aspiring actress, so I was going to be the next Angelina Jolie. And Martin was inspiring to be a director. So it's kind of it's a very long story, but to make it short, essentially we made this film together one summer. Nothing much has come of the film, but we got married a few years afterwards, so
Wow.
it paid off. But
What a great story.
Yeah.
I've got nothing
It's a
as
terrible,
interesting as
terrible
that.
film.
I met
it's
my
a terrible
wife.
film.
Yeah.
Met my wife in a pub.
You can make stuff up, as well, but we don't.
No,
So the name, the band, the August List. Where did that come from?
it's the name of a song. We sort of started writing songs, our own songs, and thought, right, we're going to need to put a name together. So we just literally sat there and went through our whole record collection, looking at names of songs.
We figured if Radiohead got
They
their
did
name
it.
from Talking Heads,
Yep.
and other bands do the same thing, so
We
we thought,
could-
well, we'll just go through all the track listings of records, but that's quite difficult because a lot of them are not very good
Not
band names.
So-
So we whittled it down, but then there's a song called August List, which is on a record by a band called the Willard Grant Conspiracy, who are from America, and it's we stole that.
And so how does the writing process work between you? Do you write together? Are you in separate places?
We write better separately, initially. Martin's more eloquent with words and language, so he tends to get the body of a song, and then we'll work on tune and the instrumentation of things together. And then occasionally I'll come up with something I've written, and then he tends to sort of make it more flowery.
So you're writing the music as well?
Yeah,
And what instrument do you use to write?
a mixture, really. I know I'm very basic on guitar,
Right.
but I can play because you taught me. And then sometimes it's a bit of that, sometimes it's picking up the harmonium, or you just singing in your car and you've got tune
Keyboards.
and keyboards and things.
And obviously when there's a relationship between two people that exists outside of writing a song together, that brings... So have you established a way of dealing with the situation where somebody comes to you, or I say somebody, say your wife comes to you, Martin, and says, I've got this great new song, and you go, I'm not sure I'm with you on that one, darling. How does that work?
From the very start, I think it's worked that when we're working as the band, it is just the band.
Right.
And if one of us doesn't like something, then it's it's a no, and it's not like an argument, or we don't carry it over. Like if we're going around Sainsbury's arguing about a song again, the band stuff is the band stuff, and
If we don't both agree, then it doesn't happen.
yeah.
So relatively speaking, you're relatively new to playing instruments and writing, and
Yeah.
it's not something you've been doing all your
No,
life.
we've
since
never been in
you
other
were 6.
bands.
So you started writing, get a few songs together. You come to that moment, you say, the world must hear us.
Yeah.
You did your first gig. Where was your first gig?
The first gig was a tiny festival
Yeah.
in Marlow.
In Buckinghamshire.
Straight
Yeah.
into a festival.
Yeah,
It was.
pretty
It wasn't
cool.
a festival in that
You
sort of
bluffed
sense.
your way
very
in.
small, but
yeah, it was
yeah.
very small.
All right.
It was
It was
the
very, very
first
small,
time we
yeah.
ever played in public live was at a folk club, which
Yeah.
was say near Marlow, and we did that. And at the time we went there, the local radio were there filming and recording it all. We were like, oh great, nervous anyway, and they were recording it. We did a couple of songs, and then they came and chatted to us, and they were like, oh, we're putting on this festival. Will you do this festival? Which is the way it seems to continue for the last few years. You do a gig, and somebody else sees you, and they're like, oh, would you like to do this?
That's quite a rocket start, though,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It was. Yeah, it's
well,
quite lucky.
I mean, well, we did that one, and then nothing happened for a
Oh, for a
while.
long
Just
time,
rewind
yeah.
it. The folk club.
yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the environment of this folk club. How's it work?
Very traditional, as we found out, because we didn't know anything about folk clubs when we went there. So I guess we were looking at open mics, and we were looking at, and we kind of assumed a folk club was the same as an open mic, but
Stage,
it's
theatre
vastly
seating.
different. Yeah, I mean, folk club is in a pub, in a circle, do a song, move on to the next one, and you go around like that, and it's all unplugged. So it's very kind of...
And everything stops while you play, or
Yeah, well,
are
the
there people
pub's,
chatting around,
the
having a
pub's
drink?
happening around you, yeah. But you know, if in the circle of people playing, then yeah, people listen.
I'm going to break off, get you to do a song now. So can you tell us a little bit about the song you're going to play before you do it?
Yeah, the first song is called Hightown Crow, and it's from our second EP, and it's kind of a song about kind of an omnipotent crow who sees everything that you're doing, like a kind of avian CCTV camera that's seeing all the kind of nasty things people do when they think they're not being watched.
There's also a sign on the way to Dorset, because that's where we're originally from.
That's,
And there's a place called Hightown, and there's a place called Crow, and together it says Hightown Crow.
Yeah,
So every time we
that's where we
drove
got the name
past
from.
it, so one day, I'll write a song about Hightown Crow. So it was a coincidence as well.
You go and get yourselves ready. Looking forward to it.
From his perch above the town, he can see what's going down. Looks out over the precipice, while birds are regular philanthropists. Houses all in a line, life spread out over time, fixing fences in the snow. Well, there's not much that he doesn't know. Hightown Crow, Hightown Crow.
He's got secrets you want to keep. Thinks about them while you sleep. Bodies buried in the yard. Covert dalliances in the dark. So just be glad that he don't talk. Not a hope in hell he could be bought. All those things that stick like glue. Nature's got it all on you.
Hightown Crow. Hightown Crow. town crow. High town crow.
This town forgets and he remembers. This town forgets and he remembers. This town forgets and he remembers. That high town crow. This town forgets and he remembers. This town forgets and he remembers. This town forgets and he remembers. That high town crow. Woo!
So you rocked up at First Thursday Music Club for the first time. How long ago was that?
You worked that out, didn't you?
Because it was when we moved close, so it
Mm.
must have been about 3 years ago.
And how far into the career are we now?
Well,
We-
this is sort of from sort of the bare
2000
bones.
yeah,
so it's
2010
like
was when we started gigging
Yeah.
gigging properly. So we're at 2015 now. So we've been sort of going 5 years, and each year has been, we've played better gigs and released more, albums and EPs and stuff. So yeah, it's slowly but surely.
And at some point, you get that magical moment where you get your first paid gig. Can you remember that one?
I can't remember the specific.
Not that magical, then.
It's not that magical. No, it's kind of, I don't know. We're happy if you just want to cover our petrol. We'd rather get our songs listened to and stuff. We're not after masses of money.
So
doing
just
this,
to talk
thankfully.
about First Thursday Music Club for a minute. You know what we do, and you're coming along again soon. You've been the feature act a couple of times. How does it compare to other open mic nights around the area?
Right. Well, it's certainly much bigger than most open mic nights, and it's certainly the best organised I think we've ever been to, considering the amount of people that are there.
Yeah.
And also in terms of the audience as well, you don't, normally play to that sort of size crowd.
Right.
It's
at an
also-
open mic.
I can remember, because I remember when we were looking and we moved to the area and we were looking for things locally, and it encouraged original material. And it still does. You still got people taking their music, taking their own songs and playing it along with the mixture of the covers and things, which we do.
Yeah.
Everybody does because it's a tool and it's fun. But it
Yeah.
encouraged that, and so it's...
I think because when you
it's
write
really
a song,
supportive.
you want to test it. So an open mic is the best place to do that, because it's not a gig, but you're still performing it to people for the first time. So it's a good sounding board.
So we're here in the summer of 2015. I know you've got a busy summer, done a lot of festival work, doing a lot of festival work. Tell us about the festivals you're playing at.
Well, this year we're playing the big one's Tower C this year, which is good because we're playing on the main stage as well as the showground bar, which is always good fun to play at. And then we've got a couple of smaller ones in Oxford, Halfway to 75, Riverside Childbury Festival, Pusey Festival in Pusey, and some other ones that I can't think of. And yeah, gig-wise, we're still gigging. We did a great gig at the Unicorn Theatre in Abingdon, which was a really good kind of showcase gig.
In a theatre?
Yeah, play for about an hour.
So you're on stage and a big audience sat watching.
It's in an old Elizabethan building, which is sort of mostly been restored and being renovated. So you felt like you should have been standing on talking about Shakespeare rather than singing. But it
We
was
glossed
great.
over it. But you mentioned Towersey.
Yeah.
Which is a huge coup for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're playing twice, but importantly, you're playing on the main stage, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will be our third year at Towersey, which we're really grateful for. And yeah, we got put forward to play the main stage, so we're chuffed a bit.
And so when you think about that and how you're going to perform, does it change anything for you? Or do you just want to represent yourselves in the same way as you would in a more intimate gig, but just to do it on a bigger stage.
I think we played long enough now to know that it doesn't work to try and play to what you think's going to happen.
So no sliding around the stage on your knees then?
No, that wouldn't work very well. No. Yeah, so I think you know we concentrate very hard on making a set list that works, that we think will work for the situation, and we just make sure that that's down, and then the actual performance-wise, we just you know, give it some.
And you've got a catalogue of your own stuff now, but you know that within any catalogue there are the favourites, the songs that people turn on to. So even at your stage in your career, are you already thinking, you know, actually I don't want to play that one, even though I know everybody wants us to? I don't actually want to play it. Are you there yet, or are you?
You find it with some songs, you don't. It's not that you fall out of love with them, but you do. As sort of new songs come,
Yeah.
and you think, if you've got the set that's 30 minutes or 45 minutes, you think, well, something's got to go, and some you'll more readily get rid of than others, but then they'll come back. Sort of just a few months later, you think, I'm really misplaying that song.
Yeah, sometimes
Bring
it feels very natural to drop a song and put another song in its place, and sometimes you are sick of a song, so you might leave it out for 4 or 5 gigs and then bring it back, and then remember why you liked it in the first place.
What song do you always finish a set with?
It does change.
changes.
I mean, sometimes it depends what tuning the guitar's in.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
to organise it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd spend your whole set just watching him tune,
Yeah.
which is
So
exciting.
sets are done through tuning.
So, Kerry Lee, we're going to hear the second song from tonight's session.
Yeah.
Tell us what it's going to be.
It's going to be quite a new song for us called Connie Converse, and it's she's a real person, and she's what nowadays you'd call a singer-songwriter, and she was sort of going for it in sort of the 50s, 60s, and was doing really well, but the singer-songwriter didn't exist at that time. It was folk singers, so you needed protest songs, and Bob Dylan and, you know, that ilk came onto the scene and took over, and she kind of got pushed into the background and forgotten. So one day she got in her car, she drove off, and nobody knows what happened to her, but they've just discovered all these old songs and recordings of her, and her voice is incredible. So they're just sort of being uncovered.
Brilliant. Go and get ready again.
Oh, your heart is wrapped so tight all around your rib cage and your spine. Stops love like a tourniquet, doesn't stop it seeping out the sides. And all of the time I sat there and I waited for my face to fit, like a star in the sky, waiting for its one chance to align. Oh, Miss Connie Converse, she had a filing cabinet in her house. It was like a time capsule full of songs just waiting to get out. 1961 to 1974, she got burned out. Then she disappeared, drove her car out into the ether. How sad, how lovely the road to your recovery. Every time the lights go out, I got a book of matches in my palm. And maybe I strike 3 a night just to check the veins along my arm. That out there pumping blood, and I'm still in the race, but I wonder, will my mind keep up, or am I just dead out in the water? Just carry on into tomorrow. Smoke your cigarettes, then have no regrets. Let's just carry on into tomorrow. Smoke your cigarettes, then have no regrets. Let's just carry on into tomorrow. Oh no. Oh no.
So moving on to recording, you've done a couple of EPs and
Yep.
an album.
Yeah.
Are we working on something new as well at the moment?
We're probably just on the cusp of going back into the studio to record another EP, I think.
Right. So you did an EP first.
Mm.
Which one was that?
That was
Handsome
called
Skin.
Handsome Skin, yeah. 2012 we did that one.
Yeah.
And the second EP came out.
A year later.
Yeah, so
later.
it's been consecutive years.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hightown Crow was 2013, and then the album Oh Hinterland was 2014. And they've all come right at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And were they all recorded in the same place, or have you moved around?
Pretty much. I think the first couple of EPs were between a studio in Reading called Silver Street and a studio near Swindon called the Ladder Factory. So we kind of split the recording up between those two EPs in those different places.
In terms of getting hold of them, either as CDs or downloads, they're all available.
Yeah.
How do we get the downloads?
I downloads is iTunes,
Amazon,
Spotify if you want to stream it, Amazon, yeah.
All available on the site. If we go on your site, click through.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Or get physicals at gigs or at Truck Store in Oxford.
Carolyn Martin, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you. Both very charming people. We're delighted that things are going so well for you, and just a little bit chuffed that First Days Music Club's been involved in some of that. Lovely to meet you both.
Thank
Lovely.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Well done, guys.